What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are ready for today. We got Ararat in the house. Good morning to you, Bill, Brian, Carlos. We got Corey. Good morning to Frank, Julie, Jason. Good morning. We got Jay in the house, Jeff, Joe, Lauren, Mike is Peter. We got Shane. Good morning, Tim. Good morning to you, all my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to all you guys. We got David, Jay. Good morning to you. Clarice, good morning. Hopping in bright and early. I love it. All right. Well, roaring kitty's still roaring. We'll see, but we got hit with some hot PPI data. We got CPI coming out tomorrow, so PPI would be kind of the kind of set the expectations for the CPI. So we'll see. PPI does include like CPI, they're going to look at core CPI and a bunch of other things inside there too. So who knows what they measured on PPI, because it does account for like oil, which was jumping to 90. It does include house pricing, where core just wipes out anything that people could use and need. But let's look at the smaller time frame on this one. We got beat up right off those numbers. We popped all the way down to, looks like the low of this got to somewhere around 518.19. And then we bought it right back up. And I don't think anyone cares. I don't I don't think the focus today is I mean, obviously the main indices is going to be helpful. I think probably people still want to trade some big tech, but I think the focus is all pushed again to anything with high short float interest. So I think that's the way to look today. I think that's where you get the most momentum. Even some of the bigger names are kind of down a little bit, while these other things are running 100%. 160%, just some wild moves. But we got SPY. It is below yesterday's VPOC. It's also below Friday's VPOC as well. So look for 520.92 to be some type of resistance to the way up. We do have 522.65 is the next resistance. That one we already kind of did hit. And again, it's the bigger number. Tomorrow is CPI, and we've been seeing a trend of higher inflation, higher than expected. And again, long term, after all the meme stock talk is gone, it could be a couple weeks. Honestly, it doesn't have to go away today. All the fundamentals will eventually come back into play. So watch those numbers. Otherwise, the next support down would be about 519.70. That has already hit twice now, so that would be a little bit weaker. And then the next spot, kind of untested, would be 517.84 on the SPY. So a little bit of chop, but still surviving. PPI, still staying inside the number. For the most part, everything is still looking a little bit weaker today. But I think more chop city, unless you're looking at some specific tickers. But let's take a look at the Qs. GME Gamma Squeeze started. Yeah, we watched that one yesterday. I'm mad because I didn't get filled. So I was trying to get $25, and I was like, maybe I'll sell some puts, and there's nothing filled on me. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We got Qs, same thing. So again, gapping down off of a little bit of hot PPI. So right now, holding some kind of support. So 442.04. Resistance on this one, 442.93. If we do break this support right where we're at now, the next stop down is 441.16, and that has already been retested. So probably going a little bit lower, 440.19. After that, we got 438.15. So we'll see if the bulls want to hang in. Again, I'm probably thinking a little bit more chop today for some of the bigger tech names. Chop to the bear side for some of the bigger tech names, bigger companies, actual companies that make revenue. But again, most of the focus probably won't be on on them today, which is why I don't think they have the same. They don't have as big of a buy the dip opportunity as maybe some of the other higher short float names being heavily watched and traded. You got TLT just still in the same range, so nothing crazy on TLT. All right, let's go to GameStop. And then if you guys have tickers you want me to take a look at, let me know. But GameStop closed yesterday at $30.45, and you got to stretch this chart all the way down. We did hit $80 pre-market as well, so already still up more than 100%, and then much crazier when it hit $80. Do I want to buy it here? No, I think yesterday was more of the day to buy it. But I do think this lasts a little bit longer than probably people are weighing in on this. I've heard some people talk about it's just algos buying it. Algos are trading this one. I don't know. I don't know. All time high, I think it says 125. I think they had a split though. Yeah, so they did have a split. Because I remember pretty vividly in 2020, this thing was running to like $800. So after the split, that turns us into 125. So keep in mind there is more. There is a the setup itself is a lot different than it was back in 2020. Yeah, no $25 overnight. Yeah, I didn't get filled on those puts. I didn't get filled on. Whew. But I do have some things rallying that have high short floats that I've been holding, and they're looking good though. So it's not exclusive to. It's like a little virus. You guys, there's a. I don't know if you guys like pretty obscure disease and virus that went around, but I don't know if you guys remember like COVID. It's and it was like a dash 19 or something. I forget. It was very short lived. I'm not sure if anybody remembers it, but it started out with like they call it patient zero, then it starts to spread and then kind of moves. But yeah, that's essentially what this is here. So we have I'm not even gonna put GameStop as patient zero, but it's gonna be more of Roaring Kitty, I think would be number one. And he hasn't even said a stock yet. And I think that's probably smart on his part because is like I said yesterday, he's not insider trading, and if he doesn't actually mention a stock, how is it a pump and dump? I like how does he get blamed for a pump and dump? That's actually pretty smart on his part, but he's just so associated with GameStop. That was the first one to move. AMC is the big one behind it, so now it's starting to spread to there, and then people going, well, what else is short float, right? And you're seeing names like MPW move. You're seeing Plug up a lot. Plug did get I think a $1.5 billion contract, or not contract, but government loan today too. So not only do they have a 30% short squeeze, which is higher than GameStop, higher than um, AMC, but they also have news to go with it. So pretty much perfect environment for Plug. But uh, yeah, I can't buy at these levels. I just can't. I want to be in it. I want to enjoy the fun with everybody, but I'll stay out of GME. However, if it dips down, I will be looking to buy it for a day trade today. So I wouldn't mind day trading GME because the range will absolutely be there. And if I get stopped, I get stopped. But the technicals do still work on some of these names, so don't necessarily think like you don't have to. Oh my goodness, look at this chart. Hold on a second. Let me go back to GameStop. GME. Uh, er? Mm-mm-mm-mm. This is dangerous. This is extremely dangerous, like more so than GameStop. Hold on, I gotta go back to GameStop. GME. General Motors, no, nobody cares about you. GME. I'm looking at the volume zones on the side. These little pockets of liquidity. So GameStop, actually hold on, we're not even there yet. We gotta go up higher. No, these are all dangerous. Yeah, I got no volume up here. The AMC one looks pretty crazy. So like GME, I just ran out of data. Essentially, I'm paying per minute on that one, but we're so high up there that there's not really any volume to go off of. But the AMC one, I'm looking at pocket of liquidity here. I got nothing until $45, 42, 43. So that means if we could get somewhere above this range, $14, we could start breaking at 14, and we have the 200 approaching. You got the BlackBerry. Yeah, BlackBerry was running today, I think. Yep, BlackBerry's running. All of those things. Um, yeah, if we get above $14, I've got nothing even in liquidity wise to stop us until we get closer to the. So AMC might actually have some more room. Like I said, the MO, and some people were like, I think Roaring Kitty's Twitter was hacked or something. I mean, his posts are kind of in line to exactly the way he spoke and the way he put out messages in 2020 as well. So I don't think so. And if it is him, and again, I don't know any information, but if it is him, he's very persistent. And I think it could last longer. If we get above that 14, it's got plenty of room on it. But AMC, I'll watch that one too. But again, I think some of these dips, if it does dip, will be bought up. You do have the 200 coming in. Technicals don't matter as much on some of these short float names, but definitely want to watch. Plug Power. Let's take a look at that one as well. Pretty fairly nice gap on here. Lots of room on this one. If we can get above 480, the next target I got is about 608, and then maybe up to like $9. So extraordinarily beat up stocks, probably for a reason. But it's got room. It's got room. SE C Limited. What's the short float on this one? I don't know this one too well, but I see it all the time. SE. Yep, 3.55. So nothing crazy in terms of short float. Do they have earnings? Earnings came out Tuesday, May 14th. That was yesterday, I believe, right? That's today. All right, so they came out with some bad earnings. Well, bad earnings per share that they did beat to the higher side, $97 million. So they missed earnings per share by 20.26. Pretty fantastic gap. You're in no liquidity zone. I'll move this one up higher on the list. I would like to see a pullback though. I'll explain that in a second. But like I said, pretty good gap. Not a big short float, so I don't think this gap is going to squeeze too many people, like some of the other meme names. But I'm looking at, again, the volume zone over here. We do have one little resistance, 68, 68, 64. Would like to see more of a pullback to like $66. So if we can get somewhere in that range, then we have a bunch of support below us. I would also put it as a candidate for high wave candle out of the gate, looking for bigger targets around like $72, somewhere up in that range. But maybe forecast was good for them or guidance. AMC is above the 200 on the daily. On your chart. For some reason, I have it at roughly 1233. Not sure why there's a difference. But yeah, mine I have approaching soon. 921 you have on yours on TradingView? Let me just make sure this is the right one. You got, oh, my bad. That's the 500. No, that's not the 500. What am I talking about? Yeah, it's the 200. Yep. So I have the 200 sitting there. Not exactly sure. Mine's EMA. Is yours SMA? Yours might be SMA. We do have Baba gapping down. Yep. So, guys, so Baba. I didn't think the earnings were that bad. They did miss. It was. I mean, the revenue was. They beat by $218 million on the revenue portion of things. They did reestablish their annual dividend of $1, and then they did a special dividend, which I think you have to be in by June 13th, if I'm not mistaken, and you get an extra 66 cents per share. So, like I said, I've been building up this one. I'm perfectly okay. This would be an abandoned baby though, on a technical basis. So pretty nice gap up, good run up. If we don't close this gap today, that is an abandoned baby, which is a bearish technical signal. But if it comes down, I will be absolutely buying some more Baba. I have no problem with that. And it depends on what what kind of the bailouts that we get from China for the economy as a whole. But more or less, the sales were down. Their revenue was still beating. To me, that's if sales get corrected and we get some China financial policies passed and we get some more liquidity into the Chinese market and the economy starts coming back a little bit. If they're already beating now, and a lot of it was their margins were down too, but a lot of it was the operational revenue coming in. But if they get the sales coming back too, and they're already starting to beat, then I'm good with that. So, but yep, definitely a little bit more to the bear side. You do got some good support coming in. So, probably somewhere around this $80.32 mark. You got $80.12. You got 79, and then obviously you got the 200 EMA to 78. Yeah, you have the SMA. Yep, that makes sense. Um, you have the 200 coming in on this one, somewhere around 70.45. So I don't know how long this dip lasts, but again, the lower it goes, the longer it goes. I'm happy with that too. So we'll see what happens, but I'm still okay long term with Bob. I do see this as more of a buying opportunity than anything for me, but not financial advice. Do your own research. I didn't think the report was that bad. Obviously, the earnings per share missed, but we kind of already knew China was in the dumps, in the dumps. So in terms of a day trade on this one, I don't know how that support's going to hold. I'd have to see if it could come down a little bit lower, maybe into the $80 range. See if we get any kind of support down there. Um, to the lower side, if I was to short from here, I would be looking for targets around 78.56. I don't know if that's worth the risk for me on it, but Tesla I'm seeing move pre-market as well. Tesla was moving with GameStop yesterday. Like if you look at the at least for the first half of the day, the chart matched GameStop too closely. I was like, you can't throw Tesla under the meme stock too. But you do have Tesla gapping up a little bit, not the 100% like GameStop. So I guess we disconnected itself, but look for a little resistance on this one. Otherwise, it is pushing a little bit higher now. Watch this 174.45. If it could break that, the next stop probably would take us to 175.56. I do have a moving average coming in. We've gotten up there before, so that could be a little bit easier to break. And if we could get above that, I believe that's the 20 EMA. I believe. Yep, 20 EMA. So we get above that one. Targets to the higher side would be about 179.11. And you could probably get some follow through. Otherwise, probably Chopzilla, and then you still have an inside day candle as well. AMC over 500 million shares traded. I think we're just starting. I think we're just starting. I don't know. All right. I got Microsoft. Let me see. Microsoft MSFT. So, again, here's the thing about today. And I don't know how big the dips are. Before we even get to this, let's take a look at NVIDIA. Move some of those moving averages. But you got things like NVIDIA down. Right? So you're down to 898.72. It's not a big dip, but you're off by about $5 at open. NVIDIA, actually looking at this chart, you're right at the last point of support, and you got 889, something like that. A lot of these companies that have moved higher, and they're good companies, NVIDIA, the Microsofts we were just looking at. I'm not as bullish on some of these companies today as I might have been last week. Because again, the money just moves like the rotation shift. You see go from blue chip to small cap. You see rotations from tech into healthcare, healthcare into the banking. Like the money moves from sector to sector and usually following the story. Tech, while I think tech is strong and actually produces money and it actually has a business model and for most part, some of them, but like Microsoft's going to be around. Is Plug Power going to be around in 10 years? Is GameStop going to be around in 10 years? I have no idea. I would confidently say Microsoft will. But on today, if the story is moving to these like, oh man, I don't want to miss out on GameStops and the short squeezes and all this stuff going on in the market, people might want to lock in profits on Microsoft. They might want to lock in profits on Nvidia. Nvidia's got earnings in a couple weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. You got CPI coming out. That's going to affect. We already saw the effects of PPI today. Yeah, the market took an initial dip. GameStop's kept going up higher. So I don't know if the money rotation is really coming into any of the tech stocks today, any of the bigger companies today, unfortunately. But I do think that will at some point provide a decent buy opportunity to get into some of these names that maybe you've missed before. So that's what I'm watching for. And again, a $5 move on Nvidia. Microsoft, you do have a little bit of support around 412.05. Looks like we're below that already. So the next one kind of comes in at 410.74. If that one breaks, maybe we see back down to like 406. The dips aren't big enough where I'm getting like excited on like the Microsoft, but if the squeezes continue and people start really piling into a lot of these other names, some of these good names, at least for the long term, will be a good, decent buy. You got Jerome Powell at 10. Is that today or is that tomorrow? He usually comes in after CPI, not PPI. It's coming in today. We got Powell on the agenda today too. Hey, I'm gonna buy an R's or the risk of AMC this morning. Have a little fun. Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. Like, if you're gonna buy it, make sure you like. Could we see GameStop next week back at $12 again? It's very possible. Like, I have no idea. But if Roaring Kitty wants to keep posting arbitrary, cryptic videos, I don't know. That's enough. Let's take a look real quick at Hood and then HD as well. HD did have earnings too. Hood is getting a little gap up. Watch this one. People like to hate it. Like they loved Hood during the last rally until the end of it, because then that's when like they stopped letting you trade GameStop and put restrictions in. You couldn't sell. You got caught in the trap, and I think that memory is still there on Hood, but otherwise, it is gapping up. I do think you get some meme action to Hood just because, and again, the people that made money during the gold rush were not typically the people digging for gold. It was the people selling all the shovels. So Hood is the shovel salesman right now. Like they're making money on all the transactions happening. So that could be good for their next balance sheet statement. I like that fundamentally, but I don't know. We'll see how that actually plays out. He says I love cats, so it just makes sense. Yeah. Everybody sitting there with like a finance degree right now is like, this is stupid. All I had to do was create a Twitter account, chop up a video. Okay. They're like, that arts degree is finally paying off for somebody. They're like, it's good thing I went to school for, got my art degree. Because I could chop a video like nobody's business. Billions of dollars. HD. So HD reported, looks like we beat on earnings per share, but missed on the revenue. So you missed by $228 million to the negative side. This is a retest gap. You are at some strong support somewhere down in the zone. Again, we'll see if this wants to hold down here. The biggest spot you want to watch for, this is also opening below the 200 EMA. Not a great sign. So if we do get a bounce, I'm not expecting a huge one on this one. But look for support on this one down to like 331.40. If we start to break that, we've got a lot of room to kind of continue to give back. Again, this will be one eventually, and I don't think we're at the 618, but this would be one eventually where I just don't have a position in. I don't own Home Depot in the long term. I always, I don't know what my disagreement with Home Depot is, but I'm always like, they're too high. You're opening right at that 50% retracement now. So again, a little bit of a potential bounce spot. And then again, if we start to break it, the 618 at least comes in somewhere around 318.77. But I think Home Depot in 10 years, we still know what that is, and people will still shop there. I think they'll still have homes. I think we'll see how the economy actually goes. But maybe there's no homes anymore. I don't know. He's speaking at a conference in the Netherlands. Okay. Yeah. He usually doesn't drop the bomb too much in the Netherlands. Although I would if I was Jerome Powell. Like, the economy's about to crash, but I'm in the Netherlands. Can't find me. ON. Is this a short float? 1, 2. ON. Would be helpful if I got so excited I took add an extra O. Add an extra O for outperform. Not bad on the short float. So you got 16 point 6.8, so decent short float on this one. Could get maybe swept up in some of the meme action. It is a lower short float than GM. There is higher short floats out there where if you want to specifically play the short squeeze, there's a little bit, and you do have some resistance on this one. Was this an earnings play too? All right, earnings came in good, so you just like plug, you kind of have at least some good news to go with it. But I'm a little worried about that resistance up there. So first resistance I got is 35.63. The one after that about 35.83. So maybe we get to like 36 today, 36.43 on a really good day. Let's see the volume real quick. Last couple days volume. This is not bad. And we do have 16 to 17% short float. Let's throw it up higher on the list. We're definitely potentially squeezing some people out here. The bigger move will come after we start breaking probably about 35.87. So we'll have that on the list to watch. Let's see what else we got. Apple. And then I'm seeing gold future. Take a look at Apple. Again, this is going to play into the same thing. Maybe some of these things move. Maybe we recover the entire market. Apple already starting to look a little different though. So as opposed to some of the other bigger names. Oh, yeah, that's why. Yep. Never mind. You got Apple not acting like the other ones. So not at all-time highs. Uh still kind of, I think, reeling off of a lot of the dividend. Yeah, they're quick on their ex-dividend date. You have to be in there by the 10th. You get paid on the 16th. A lot of them it's like ex-dividend, and then you get paid a month later, which is crazy. But all right, so we have a little bit of a gap up here. This should still be a retest gap, I would assume. So look for like 186.84 if you do want to try to get into this one. And then target's probably somewhere to 188.50, somewhere up in that zone. Let me see. Golds. I don't know how TradingView has gold listed. Hold on. Should we look at GLD maybe? GLD. Yeah. Decent gap and go. Support 216.33. You have the abandoned baby up there. You do have that one locked. Gold will move a little bit differently based on more or less the dollar and more than anything. But you got 218.77 if you want to try that one bullish. Decent, nice little gap up on GLD though. So you do have a little bit of room. I don't see much really in the way to stop you into that 218.71 zone. But that is the morning bell. Roaring Kitty told me I have to sign off on YouTube because he's got to start tweeting, and I don't want to use up his bandwidth. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. You guys are incredible in YouTube land. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Be safe in the market. Keep in mind, CPI is tomorrow before the bell, and that should move the market unless we got GameStop still. We'll see.